Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Achievers Mindset podcast. My today's guest, James Pryor, is a CEO at this moment, but he's got great experience in the hardest, the most complicated, most complex, and the most popular job that was ever created, sales. James, before I say anything else, welcome here. I'm really happy to have you here.
Thanks, Michal. I really appreciate it. And really happy and excited to be here and speaking with you today.
Fantastic. It's my pleasure and our listeners. Well, James, can you tell us a bit more about yourself? Because, it was just a quick introduction and I want people to get to know you better.
Yeah, fantastic. I think I'll do it twofold. I'll tell you all about me and then dive into the fun stuff, the career side. So, yeah, myself. So, born and raised in Cambridgeshire, in the UK. Very fortunate, and a lot of thanks and gratitude goes to my parents. So, firstborn of I've got a brother and sister, so of three. And mum and dad in a very loving relationship for about 35 years. So I'm really fortunate, and family is incredibly important. Been raised with, I would say, some very good morals. Complimenting my mum, hope she doesn't listen, but no, really big family man. It kind of is a good way, Michal, of kind of saying, who are you? What are you like? I was first born into a very loving family, so I loved the attention, right? Quite an extrovert. I had a lot of attention, and then the responsibility of being the eldest in the family. So you look after your younger brother, look after your younger sister, and I was very fortunate making friends. Went straight into the football team and fell in love with that as a sport. Still, some of my closest friends today are from the school and the village where I was brought up in the UK. So very much an extrovert, all about people, and all about playing as well. I was a very happy kid, happy in my teens, and as I continue to grow, always enjoy talking with people. So I think that's where I naturally fell into sales. So I went to university and did media studies and communications. Passed with the 2-1. I would say there was a lot of partying involved and encouraging with my social side. Again, that side, but really happy with kind of what I learned. But after that, I fell naturally into a sales role. Simply, I think it is simply because I've got some basic values and morals of trying to be as honest as possible, and trying to add value. And I love solving problems. I get that from my dad. So yeah, that kind of fell into sales. And then, to be perfectly honest, my 20s was just all about living my best life. So I was very fortunate. I went away traveling with my two best friends, saw Southeast Asia, Australia, very classic, typical gap year of that time, and then came back and learned a harsh lesson whilst all my friends were in their mid-20s going, right, we'll get a job and career and house. That did not interest me at all. So went away again and lived in New Zealand for a year, where I taught people how to go-kart on a hill in Queenstown. It was just lived a really fun 20s. As I was saying to you earlier, I got a call when I was in Colombia, with not a lot of money, and somebody saying, do you want to start working now, and and time to step into your career? So that's where it took me, and in I went, as a sales role, kind of standard sales role at a company called James and James Fulfillment. Now, what they do is specialize in e-commerce fulfillment. So, as we now know, e-commerce is very common, and anyone starting up a brand, or for example, you pick a very popular online brand like Gymshark. You have to outsource, you have to pick and pack those products when somebody orders on your website. How do you do that? You either do it in-house, which causes a lot of stress and management and a lot of investment in technology, or you outsource that. So we were very fortunate. We won Queen's Awards. The founders had a very good idea early on that we wanted to lead on that, and that's where I learned my trade. I remember them sitting down and saying, right, is this just a job to you, and are you going to sod off and go traveling again, or do you want to learn the career and really move forward? And I was ready for that. So yeah, in terms of sales, we had a really good team. We worked all together on a team, and I just continued to chomp at the bit at each challenge that came my way within
Can
the
I
company.
just jump in here for a moment?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
Well, it's having a great team. It's never a matter of luck. It's the matter of will and working on it.
Agreed.
It's no team is perfect from day one.
No,
you
and I
need to
think
want to cooperate with one another.
I think the one thing I would say with our team as well was I learned very early on, we had clear vision. One of my skills, and one thing I really enjoyed about that team at the time, was I was a leader without a role. I was a leader within the team. I was a captain of the football team when I was 9 years old, right? So I've always played that role of, right, okay, we want to win as a team. I want to be an example of the very best, and then work with people how to do that. So yeah, I agree. I think with a team, you need different people with different strengths as well. I was loud and extroverted. One of my colleagues, when I soon became manager, he knew when to bring me in. He knew what person to bring me in, what clients to bring me in with, and he knew when to have me be myself and very extrovert and almost like we're on a night out. And then he knew when to bring me in and say, right, James, say 5 words and don't say anything. Because with sales and with that team, you have to know where your strengths lie, and you have to know who you're talking to and how to best talk and listen to them, you know.
Okay, yes, but all those things, well, it's not always easy. It's not always great. It's, I would say, majority of the time, it's hard. It's pressure. It's constant pressure, because it's not something that you just replicate. You need to, well, constantly improve. How do you deal with the pressure?
There's a couple of ways I deal with pressure, and I think it's I felt pressure, and as you learn as you get older within careers to deal with it differently. I think first of all, and my answer to this is be yourself. Now, that can change on a daily basis. Sales in this example we were just talking about, if that's the end of the month, I am the only one that hasn't hit target, I'm going to be feeling the pressure, and I might react very differently to how I will be the next month when I've already hit my target. The pressure you feel at different levels, at different temperatures, depending on the context of the situation. So my advice and how I have dealt with it as I've continued to grow in my career is being myself. As I told you, I love fun things. I love people. So how I would deal with pressure straight away is probably try and make a joke, or try and breathe, try and give myself context of, right, is the world going to end tomorrow because of the pressure I'm feeling right now? No, probably not. If I don't get this deadline done right now, no, probably not. So my advice, and what I always say to the team, is yes, the pressure is good. Pressure is good within a working environment, because you're putting a bit of heat on the ingredients, right? And you want to warm that up to get to a good level. So yeah, I think
we wouldn't grow without pressure.
Correct. Absolutely. And what do they always say? There's a classic line: pressure is putting food on the family's table, you know. And I think giving more context around the world, I always try and realize how lucky I am to have a loving family, to have a roof over my head. If you start putting those thoughts and those things around in your head, you lower the pressure, and I think it's about not wasting time. If you've got something to do and you're feeling the pressure, and you're spending 30 minutes thinking about the pressure rather than 30 minutes doing it, that's probably not a good way of solving the problem and reducing pressure. So for me personally, though, Michael, that really goes into knowing myself. I'm a problem solver. I love problem solving. The more you take on, the more you try and solve, the more pressure that comes. So you just have to keep calm. Breathing's always good. A deep breath always helps, you know. And because I am a talker who could, yeah, you will have to interrupt because I do love talking so much. Taking a breath and assessing the situation is always a good thing, you know.
Okay, so acting, but with a plan in mind.
Yeah.
Analyze where you are, where you want to be, and how to get there. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Good.
Right.
That's perfect. But you're saying that you've been a leader naturally. Well, always, since being a captain in a football team
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
until now, basically.
Yeah, I think. Well, now I'd say I'm even more of a leader. Probably in life and more in career. So after my stint within e-commerce, I loved e-commerce. Right, I think it is important to state the more you enjoy something and the more you tap into why you enjoy something, the more you can continue to grow. So just before my new role as COO. I was in a job where there was nothing wrong with the job, nothing wrong with the people, nothing wrong with the product or who they were selling to. It just wasn't. I just wasn't enjoying it. It wasn't a right fit for me. It was a sales role that was too slow paced. It was on a product that didn't the vision and the mission statement didn't enthrall me, didn't excite me, and it just led me to everything else in my life was great, and this one little dot just wasn't really doing it for me. So, and it's amazing what that does to bring you down across the rest of the other parts of your life.
Yes.
And I think career, especially the amount of time you spend at work, it can affect other things. So all I did really was worked on myself. I worked with a positivity coach. That was really different and really cool. I did a lot of things, kind of sending some self-awareness quizzes around to my closest friends and family, and just 1% wins on myself, and then that led me to the pressure and leadership of a COO role, which is now weirdly, because I enjoy it, I feel limited pressure because I'm constantly focused on. And I'm grateful for my the two founders who trust me enough that I can do the right thing. They let me focus on doing what I think is the right thing to achieve our mission statement, which is I'll name drop them. So COO at White's Beaconsfield. So we're the UK's leading non-peroxide home teeth whitening kit. But really, our mission statement is to make as many people as we can smile, and if they like our products, great. We've got some really innovative, fun, people-focused products. But yeah, the leadership role within that, I am just loving. We've changed our team. We've got now I would say we've got a really great process of bringing on the right people that fit that statement, right? That I want to give them a platform where they can grow and work hard and learn, and in 3 years hopefully they don't leave, but if they leave in 3 years time, someone will look at their CV and go, oh, I know White's Beaconsfield. Oh wow, that was some serious growth, and that person can walk into their next role knowing their capability, knowing their skill, knowing their improvement. But it also means they've got to work their asses off for me as well, you know.
Definitely.
we want someone hungry. And that's what you have to. I think the more honest you can be about expectations, especially when it comes to employees, and you stay true to your word in that, the better they work with you, you know.
Okay, so tell me, because right now there is actually a lot of people that you manage. It's not just your team, but you have managers and they have probably supervisors and they have salespeople. So it's not that simple.
Yeah,
But
I think that's
still,
fair.
if you recognize that one of those people, they are overwhelmed and it's affecting them not just in terms of work, the job that they have to do, but generally life. You see that it's pulling them. That's what you were telling before. If there is one thing that doesn't work, it pulls everything down. So if you recognize that one of people that work for you is in that situation, what would you recommend to this person? How would you approach this person in the first place?
Great question. I think it goes into a similar answer about how I deal with pressure, about knowing myself. I think the answer that I try and give in these situations is knowing the person I'm speaking to, right? I'm very people focused. I'm very interested in developing. I'm obsessed with growth because I can't sit still. So what that means is before that person is going through whatever they're going through, I want to understand that person. I want to know what their strengths, what are their weaknesses, all the basic stuff. Not don't need to know their ins and outs and what they have for breakfast every day, but what are they really like as a person, and how do I get the best out of them to grow? So hopefully I would have already laid down the foundation of that, and then I think it's just about just being honest, noticing, being aware. It's very easy within jobs to be laser focused on the task in front of you. Task. Everyone's got deadlines. Everyone's got pressures. Be aware of the people around you. You mentioned earlier teamwork. If one of your team is really suffering and you don't notice that, or you just go, oh, they're just rubbish, they're not doing the work. Have you put yourself in their shoes? How do you understand what's going on? So simple thing for me would be just speaking to them, depending on who and how they are. Some people, you could go for a beer with them, they'd tell you everything what's going on, and then you could really then give opinion on how you can help them. Do they need to seek help? Do they need to spend more time working on themselves? Is it something they're just going through on the short term, or is it something that's really, really challenging them?
Yeah,
It
well,
might be
definitely.
that they don't want to talk about it. That's where I find it quite hard, Michal, because then all you can do and all you can be, in my opinion, is be there. And you go, look, you don't seem 100%. I can feel it. I know you. You don't need to talk about it. I'm here if you need to. Know that this is a safe space. And I think I've had a lot of reward from that approach, and that doesn't come naturally to me. I'm an Aries by nature. I'm a bit of a ram. I would rather get stuck in and get emotional and back and forth. But especially with guys as well, like with guys, that they find it a lot harder to open up.
Yes. Yes,
So
and in here, let me just cut in again because
of
that's
course,
something that I would like to say. I keep on reminding that just simple, straight numbers. Well, outside of the fact that well, the suicide rate went up since well, the first lockdown, and now we have a well, difficult economical situation, let's say.
yeah,
There is 3 times more guys committing a suicide in the US than women, and it's twice as much as women for the UK and generally for Europe.
yeah,
They are current statistics. So it does bother us that we are in a situation we are as guys. It is hard for us. It is difficult. We just don't talk about this. And when it's too much, we have so many bad things to say that we prefer not to say anything anymore. And I don't want anyone to be in that situation. That's why we're talking now. That's why
agreed.
what you said, I'm here for you. If
Agreed.
you need me, just come.
You know, so it's funny talking when we talk like these and have great conversations like this. Funny where your mind goes. So my mind goes to two places. One is a friend recently, very close friend, was going through some stuff, and I thank my mum, being a nurse, that I pick up on these things because I was kind of raised to care. I'm a nurse's son, I always say. But I was raised to care, and that's in me. And I messaged him, and I remember messaging him and just saying, "How are you?" I would never send a message like that because I normally send about five. I'm that annoying guy that WhatsApps ping, 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 that person. Anyway, just sent one. And that really, really allowed him to open up. He then went into our other WhatsApp group and he's opened up to 5 or 6 people. He's got a new job. He's great, right? He's really, really open. And I think it is just, don't be afraid. My advice to everyone is don't be afraid to talk to someone. And if you open up and you talk to someone and it doesn't work, or they, for whatever reason, they don't give you what you're looking for, go talk to someone else. I tried
Exactly.
I tried therapy. I did not like the therapist. He was not, let's politely say, he was not a good match for me. That's okay. That's fine. I might not have been a good match for him. I waited a bit of time. I thought, oh, I didn't really like that. It sent me down a path of positivity coach. I didn't even know they existed. And then I built a great relationship and I worked with them for a whole year. So don't be afraid to talk. Don't be afraid to talk a couple of times.
And
Just
with
the one.
professionals as well,
Yeah,
yes?
100%. Yes, definitely. I would always recommend that, but I think it's all around finding what's right for you. And also, if you've got someone who's talking to you, take accountability for that. I sadly, when I was younger, played for a football team, and there was a young troubled lad who used to. This was a while ago now, probably about 12 years. Young lad who used to play for us, very troubled. I used to talk to him a fair bit, but not too much. I didn't get to know him that well. He sadly took his own life, and we play memorial games. But one of the things I took from that was, there was a couple of years later, I didn't play for the team much. I was back and forth, and there was another young lad who started playing for the team, and he reminded me of him a lot. There was a lot going on. I could just see there was a bit of darkness there, and he just didn't seem 100% happy. So I made a conscious effort, right? I knew something wasn't right. I went out of my way. I went and spoke to all the football lads and said, "Hey lads, if you like him, I would highly recommend spending more time with him. He seems like a great guy, but he also seems like there's some stuff going on there." And yeah, he went through a bad stage, but me and him often talk, and he often thanks me for just checking in. He knows I kind of take that big brother approach, but bless him, he needed that space for someone to talk to. He needed someone to recognize that he was
Yes, we
struggling.
all need this space.
Agreed.
Everyone.
Yeah. So I think it's my advice to that, and especially when you're managing someone in a career space, just be aware. Just be aware. How would you like to be treated? Reach out. You just make sure they know you're there. I think, and they might open up, and you might find out a lot more, or you might want to point them to professionals, or it might be that they're just having a crap day, and they just need to be a bit grumpy. So yeah.
Definitely. But it's, well, even if it's just a day, you can always make someone smile and feel better just for a moment, and that is something.
You said that is what an amazing sentence that is. If you can make someone smile, that's literally that's all I want to do, really. I'm one of those people that prefers giving Christmas presents than receiving them, because it's the reward of someone being grateful and smiling. Yeah, can't agree more, Michal.
Definitely. Well, so tell me that then. To summarize everything, one piece of advice that you have for someone who's an entrepreneur, who's in the business.
Great.
How to stay sane in this competitive world?
My piece of advice and what really took me to the next level in my life and in my career in terms of happiness has been work on yourself, whether that be for 5 minutes, whether that be for an hour, whether that be you're going to write your life bucket list and you're going to try and complete that, whether that be you're going to do 5 minutes extra stretching a day. The more you continue to work on yourself every single day to try and just make yourself a better person, the more you will be, in inverted commas, successful, the more you will be happier in each moment, the more you'll be able to deal with the difficult times. It's really funny when I have down days because everyone notices, because I'm just a bit quiet. That's all it is. I'm just a bit quiet. I just don't want to be as loud as I always am. And yeah, it's really funny because everyone notices straight away. What's wrong with you? What's up? It's like, it's fine. I'm just tired, or I'm just sad today, you know. So I think my advice is just do your best to just continue to work on yourselves. And if I can add one more, look around the people around you, and really, if there's negativity around you, listen to an audiobook, listen to podcasts, come on something like this, and think around your mental health. If we swap places, if you're listening and we swap places and Michal asks you these questions, how would you answer? What would you want to do? So yeah, mine's very easy. Just keep working on yourself to try and be the best version of you, and try and be patient.
Yes, personal development. I love it.
Oh,
I
can't get
definitely
enough
love
of
it.
Oh, me too.
James, before we go, can you
Yeah.
tell us if someone wanted to get in touch with you?
Yeah,
Whatever
fantastic.
reason, business, personal, just get to know you, have you in your network. Be in your network, how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, no problem. So my LinkedIn, you'll find me James Pryor, Pryor. I believe my tagline is James Pryor New Business. My Instagram is James Pryor Whites B. So yeah, that's all around. I've only just started that really, but that's all around my career side and me pushing kind of the COO life and doing more things like this. And the other one is feel free to check out the brand as well, www.whitesbeaconsfield.co.uk. Our aim is to be the teeth whitening, the oral care that really just makes people smile and innovates new products. So yeah, there's James 20 for 20% off on there. So yeah, have a look on the website. If you like any of the products, great. If not, yeah, just feel free to reach out. I'm always open to a conversation and love helping people grow. So yeah.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And I'm going to include all those links in the description of this podcast or video, wherever you watch it. So James, thank you very much for being my guest. It was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for all the wisdom that you shared with me and my listeners. And well, hopefully we're going to have a chance to talk again and elaborate a bit more on, well, what's the best way to just simply stay sane and enjoy life.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. Can't wait to speak again. And yeah, just thanks to all your listeners and you especially.
Thank you very much, James. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Take care.